ever just accidentally miss one tiny detail that makes you have to redo an entire video? And then after you do that, the Minecraft music is so loud you can't hear yourself and you have to redo it a third time? Well, that's me. Anyways, what's going on, everyone? It's me, Toadstar here, and welcome back to Hypixel Skyblock. Now, I know a lot of you are already pretty excited because I spent like a couple hours doing this, and I've made a little notepad of the best Reforges that you can possibly get for all of your talismans, armor, and swords after the Reforge update hits. You're going to be able to reach 100% crit chance, and assuming you're drinking a crit 4 potion, because those things are required now. So yeah, I hope you're excited, and let's get into it. If you're literally just here for the stats, like you want to see them and you're out, you don't want to hear me ramble, here you go, here's the stats, have fun, take a screenshot of this. Make sure you take a screenshot of that, 3, 2, 1, alright, there's the potions you need down here. And there you go. So if that's all you cared about, there you go. Anyways, I'm going to go into a lot of detail and kind of explain this for some people that might not understand. But anyways, to start things off, if you don't know what the update is that they're changing the Reforge system so that talismans are a little bit weaker. As you can see with this godly legendary ring of love, I get 5% crit chance. Talismans will not be able to obtain crit chance anymore, except with one exception, the unpleasant Reforge, which is pretty bad, but you'll actually might need 1 or 2 unpleasant talismans depending on your armor set, stuff like that. So I'm going to go into detail on how you can reach 100% crit chance and deal the maximum amount of damage possible. So in order to do that, you're going to need, this is all being based off of my current stats, which I have a combat level of 26, and I have all of the fairy souls. This gives me 33% base crit chance. Now, if you drink a crit 4 potion, you'll get an additional 25%. So this means we'll need 42% crit chance in order to reach 100. We do this by reforging our armor and getting a couple unpleasant talismans. So, starting off is that the rarity of your armor does have an influence of how much crit chance different pieces give you. So if you're wearing epic armor, so this counts for tarantula armor like myself, if you're wearing epic armor, you are going to want every single one of your armor piece to be spiked. Now, spiked is the new Reforge, which is actually an item dropped by dragons, the Dragon Scale. This is dropped from any dragon except Superior. And you can apply the spiked Reforge onto armor pieces. You can only use one little Dragon Scale per armor piece. And it costs 300,000 coins to put it on the armor. You also need to have level 20 mining, so make sure your mining skill is up pretty high. And here are the stats for spiked. It gives 15 strength, 15 crit power. Sorry. For epic, you can see these little numbers. This is why I had to redo the video, alright? So, each of these little numbers, there's a slash and then a new number. If I zoom in just a little bit so you can see better, that doesn't help actually. 3 is for common armor, 5 is for uncommon, 7 is for rare, so on and so forth. So, looking at epic armor, you're going to get 9 crit chance per piece you put it on. That's why I have a little 9 in here. So if you put all spiked on your armor, you'll have 36% extra crit damage. Crit chance. And we need 42, so you're wondering, well, how are we supposed to get that additional 6%? This is where talismans come into play. You're going to want 6 of your common talismans to be the unpleasant Reforge, and the rest of them superior, because if we take a look here, this is the talisman spreadsheet of all of the stats we want. For common talismans, and we look at the unpleasant category, which is right here, we get 1 crit chance. So we're going to want 6 of those, because common talismans are the weakest talismans. So let's get 6 of those. Now, quickly, I'm just going to cover legendary armor as well, because it's slightly different. Legendary armor, each time you put spiked, you actually get 12 crit chance instead of 9. So this means we can put 3 out of 4 pieces can be spiked. But your boots, or any piece, just one piece, you actually want fierce. The reason for that is, if we look at armor down here, is that fierce actually gives slightly higher damage than spiked. But in exchange, it only gives 5 crit chance for legendary armor. So doing that, we can get all the way up to 99% crit chance. That's unfortunate. We're going to need 1 unpleasant talisman. Now, actually getting into talismans, the most exciting part, is if you have a lot of talismans like me, you're going to want to know, well, what am I supposed to put on all of these talismans? It's actually pretty simple, and we can sort them by rarity. So common talismans are going to have one Reforge, uncommon will have a different Reforge, rare will have a different Reforge, epic, and legendary, and so forth. So I've pretty much figured out which of these Reforges gives the best amount of damage for each rarity. So looking at talismans, there's a lot here, but we're going to make this pretty simple. All we're going to do is look at the first number in each of these things. So, going down the line, if we have one common talisman, what's going to provide the most benefit to us? It's actually going to be superior, which is down here. It's going to give us 2 strength and 2 crit damage. That's actually pretty darn good, considering that we have a lot of common talismans. Next is going to be uncommon talismans. Actually, it's the exact same. Superior is going to give you the most. It's going to give you 3 strength and 2 crit damage. Going on to rare talismans, you're going to want godly. Now, rare is a little bit different because there's actually 2 different reforges that give you the same damage. But godly has one little twist. So if we look at godly and superior, they each give 3 strength and 3 crit damage. Sorry, godly and strong. 3 strength and 3 crit damage. But godly gives 1 intelligence. Now I know you're thinking, that's kind of dumb. But hey, it's free stats. And I mean, that 6 intelligence that you get from, 6 rare or godly talismans could be enough to make you be able to teleport with the aspect at the end one more time, or barely get that last zombie sword to heal yourself enough. So every single stat's important. You're going to want godly. Going on to epic talismans, strong actually is the best. This is where it switches up. You're going to get 5 strength and 5 crit damage. Pretty solid. Legendary talismans, you're also going to want strong, because that gives 8 strength, 8 crit damage. And if you didn't know, they're actually adding a new rarity to everything. Armor, weapons, and talismans. We don't know what this rarity is called yet. We just know it's better than legendary. Because if you count here, you just got common, uncommon, rare, epic, legendary, and there's one more number. So I'm just going to call this Unreal, just for example. Actually, that might be confusing. I'm just going to call it, whatever it is. That's why I have question marks here. But that rarity, if you ever do get any of those talismans, it's going to give you 12 strength and 12 crit damage. That's as good as it's going to get. So then, just some little things to note here. You're going to need a critical 4 potion to drink. If you don't have a crit 4 potion, if you can only afford crit 3, you're going to need a couple more unpleasant talismans to get yourself up to 80% crit damage or crit chance instead of 75. And potions I recommend for dealing damage: Strength 8, Spirit 4. If you don't have any money, Strength 5, Spirit 3. Always does pretty decent. But that's about it. So that's the best way. Oh, we got to look at weapons. So weapons, there are 2 main weapons: your sword and your bow. So I have sword as Fabled. Fabled is absolutely crazy. So Fabled is another one of these dragon drops. It's the Dragon Claw. It's dropped from any of the 7 dragons. It costs 1 million coins, and you can only put this on legendary swords. You also need a mining level of 22 to apply the Dragon Claw and use the Fabled Reforge. So there's 2 things to note with this. If we look at Fabled, 60 strength and 80 crit damage. That's a lot. Like, that's way more than anything we've ever had before. Not only that, but it has a special ability where our crits have a chance to deal up to 120% extra damage. Combine this with Tarantula Armor, which already gets double damage every 4th hit. That's so much damage. Like, this is definitely the way to go. And lastly, we have bows. For your bow reforge, you're going to want Unreal. Now, this gives 40 strength and 75 crit damage, which is the highest out of any of these things by far. Even rapid, because you want your strength and your crit damage to be as close together as possible, because that's how multiplication works. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, this gives 17 crit chance, so don't you need to, get rid of some of those unpleasant talismans? No. The reason is because you're not really going to be holding your bow. If you're fighting dragons, for example, you shoot a bow and you swap to your sword. You won't actually get the crit chance from your bow, so you can effectively just pretend this crit chance doesn't exist, because there's no reason to think it does exist if you're not going to be using it. So we just say, 40 strength, 75 crit power, and yeah, so we're going to be dealing so much more damage after this update, and I don't know if they know about that. So anyways, before you go and put all of your talismans and reforge them already, don't do it yet. wait for the update to actually drop first, because these numbers are of course subject to change, and who knows what will happen. And also because they're making it a lot cheaper to reforge your talismans and armor after the update drops, because a lot of people are going to be pretty upset. So wait till the update drops, then go ahead and reforge all your talismans. And of course, that's going to do it for today's episode. If you found this useful, be sure to leave a like down on this video, share it with people that you might want to see it, maybe drop it in some of the Skyblock Discord so people know, and make sure to turn that notification bell on so you know when the next update's going to be and what to do for it, because I provide as early information as possible and make sure it's all accurate. So yeah, if you found this video helpful, subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 4,000 subscribers, and hope you all have a fantastic day. Alright, get to reforging those talismans. Peace out.